Hello everyone, this is Joey from JLD Travels coming back with a new video today, and today we're looking into some more of our little mini series on our airline reviews. And just before I forget this time, I need to start the video, so I forgot in the last video. So today we're looking into my return flight with Scoot, and just a little issue I had just before, obviously 2 days before I was due to fly home. And I had an email from Scoot to basically say the flight from Singapore to Athens was going to be delayed by 2 hours. So I was meant to be flying from there at 6:05. No, sorry, yeah, 6:05 in the morning, and I was delaying it till 8:05. So then I was in turn going to miss my flight from Athens to London Luton, and then in turn miss my coach from London Luton to Reading. So it was an absolute nightmare. I tried to speak with someone from Scoot through the chat messenger. Sorry, excuse me. And they were just completely not wanting to help. Was basically said, "There's nothing we can do. This is what's happening." And literally the only thing they ended up offering was a return flight 4 days later, and I couldn't miss nearly a week's worth of work. So that was a little interesting one. Wasn't greatly fun, and so basically I had to go with what I had really, and I then in turn went to Ryanair, who I was getting my connecting flight with from Athens to London Luton, and trying to plead to them that obviously there was an issue with one of my Scoot flights and it was going to delay me by 2 hours, and if they could just swap me onto the next available flight. They out and out refused to help. I spoke to about 2 or 3 different people with Ryanair to try and see if I could get something resolved somewhere. So then in turn, when I was speaking to the last person, I actually found on their website that they basically, in a very unforeseen circumstances, they will waiver the €45 fee to move your flight, and it doesn't specify it has to be within the first 24 hours of when you book the flight, which is an absolute load of nonsense. And so I took a screenshot of it. It clearly said that they would waiver the fee in an extreme circumstance if it wasn't something of my doing. I sent him a screenshot. He completely ignored it. And basically, I then asked, well, something else that I've seen on your website. Took a screenshot of that, sent that over. He ignored this as well. And it basically stated that they could refund what I paid for my original flight, put it back into my wallet in Ryanair, so I could then book the flight for the next day. And personally, I think the reason they did do that was basically because on the grounds of the flight that was for the next day was nearly €100 less than what I originally paid. So basically, I had no choice. I had to pay the €45 fee to swap the flight for a day later. So if anyone's flying in Europe anywhere, do not fly with Ryanair. They are absolutely abhorrent. But I will go into a bit further detail with Ryanair when I get to their review next week. But apart from that, the flight itself, obviously I had a fairly hefty layover in Manila once again. As I've said on quite a few occasions with this little mini series for this little trip out there for Lovely's birthday, I tried to spend as much time outside of the airport, either just catching some air or just being out of the airport. So I obviously had a bit of data that I could use, so I was obviously being able to message and chat with Lovely while I was waiting, and playing a bit of Pokemon Go and just trying to relax and pass the time. Did pop back in and got myself a Jollibee. I know I have got quite a taste for Jollibee now, so thanks Philippines for that one. The food itself with Jollibee, even in the airport, is so much better than the Jollibee that's local to me. It's just made with so much more passion, so much more flavour to it. It's cooked perfectly, and you can just tell that they really do appreciate the food that they're making, which is always quite a good thing. So that side of things, I tried to pass my time as best I could. I think I watched something on Netflix as well while I was just waiting for the time, and then obviously came time to go to drop off my bag and everything for the flight. As typical in Manila, the queue was just absolutely horrendous. The organisation is poor. That airport is so badly dysfunctional. It needs a complete overhaul with everything that runs that airport from the top to the bottom. Personally, that's what I believe. And then I was able to obviously get to the point to drop off my bag, obviously the flight to Singapore. And once that side was getting close to being completed, the staff behind the counter were absolutely lovely. Scoot staff, I have to admit, say it is a budget airline, were absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend the airline. But you just have to bear in mind that obviously if something was to go wrong, they're not ones to help you out if something goes wrong. From my personal experience, but obviously that was just a one-off thing. So in the grand scheme of things, on the way out, obviously to the Philippines, nothing went wrong. Everything went out on time. It was a fantastic experience. Well, I was only in economy, but then the flight side of things, going back, was absolutely fine. We arrived on time. The process of getting through customs in arrivals at Singapore is nowhere near time consuming as it is in Manila Airport. And obviously during arrivals, I had to go to the bit to obviously do the little thing to basically signing into the country basically. And that was alright. It was a really helpful guy, helped me through it again and got through that. Then I had quite an extensive layover in Singapore that they give you like fairly constant free internet, so that was great. So obviously I was still able to message Lovely and watch some things, listen to a bit of music, and just chill out and stuff. That the airport is such a nice airport to walk around, and I spent a little bit of time walking around this little bit inside that had I don't call it a celebration, but it's kind of like a little monument for celebrating 100 years of Disney. So I went around to actually look at it properly this time. That passed a bit of my time as well. Yeah, and I absolutely love Singapore Airport. It's one of my favourite airports, and if I can, I'll try and have my stopover in Singapore because I absolutely love it. The staff there are absolutely fantastic, so friendly, and absolutely love promoting their country, which is really, really nice to see. And I ended up having a chat with someone quite fairly extensively about places that I wouldn't mind to go and visit in Singapore, because that would be a place. It's on my bucket list of East Asian countries that I want to go and visit eventually at some point. And yeah, it was just a pleasant experience in Singapore Airport. There's literally nothing bad I can say about it. Yeah, and even like when you go outside for like just a bit of air or to grab with me to grab a cigarette or whatever, it is a bit humid outside, but you've got some quite nice, weirdly shaped buildings like outside that you can look at and stuff. So it's just a really genuinely nice airport. There was no issues with worrying if it's going to have a power cut or anything like that, like Manila Airport did. The aircon was fantastic. It kept you really nice and cool in the airport, and obviously where that's the hub for Scoot, because obviously it's a subsidiary of Singapore Airlines. They were very quite what's the word? Had quite a large area that was literally just Scoot, and they do this really cool thing there that you can basically do your check-in, your bag drop-off. It's all done by yourself at like a do-it-yourself sort of kiosk, which is really cool. And Scoot staff there during when I had to obviously go to drop my bag off. Oh no, didn't need to do that, but obviously just go to the area to catch the flight. Staff are absolutely lovely, extremely friendly, and if you can look past the low budget side of it and whatchamacallit, and you have your own things that you can watch, like on a mobile device or whatever. Like the staff are fantastic. I can't say the stewards and everything else, and obviously the pilot was very kept us in contact with where we were, like how high we were, and like obviously our altitude that we was at, and when we was coming into land. The staff weren't rude or anything like that, unlike with Wizz Air. And I would recommend them. That they are a good airline. They just need to just get on top of stuff when it goes wrong. So that's really the only sort of thing I can really sort of say that's anything sort of negative really with them. But the flight itself to so obviously getting on to the flight from from Singapore to Athens. Obviously there was the extra 2 hours that I had to wait around. Boarding went on time, obviously to the new time, and then the staff were really nice. That once you're coming on the plane, very like friendly, very helpful, would point you in the direction of where you needed to go, what side of the plane you was in. That they knew the layout of the plane very well. They came around multiple times offering drinks and snacks, and it was just a pleasurable, another very pleasureful flight. And with both flights, there wasn't that much turbulence. I managed to get quite a bit of sleep on the flight from Singapore to Athens. That was the longest portion of the flight. It was about 11 hours. But on the way back, it didn't get in early like it did on the way there, which was unfortunate. But obviously, it didn't really matter so much because I had quite an extensive stay in Athens. But we'll get to that more so in the next video. But yeah, obviously I think it's about 2 or 3 hours into the flight they came around with the food service, which I'd already pre-ordered for the way home, and I can't remember what I had, but it was some kind. I think it was the beef and something with rice. Can't remember what it was. But the food wasn't too bad to say it was a budget airline. Obviously, I had like a little chocolate biscuit or something with it, and a can of Coke. And I think I did pick up another bottle of water or something while I was on the plane. And the flight itself, before I knew it, was coming in to land at Athens, and can't really say much more than flying with Scoot was actually a fairly pleasurable experience. And a lot of these YouTubers that do reviews on Scoot absolutely hating on them. Yeah, they may have had specifically bad experiences, but I can only say with what I've physically seen with my one time flying with Scoot, apart from one little thing on the way back, it was a pleasurable experience. The staff were fantastic. Things went on time. We taxied on time. We took off on time. We landed on time. Even on the way there, we landed early. And yeah, so like, don't always believe everything you see online. And I would at least once, if you go to use them, do give them a chance, because I was very unsure and didn't know whether I should risk taking a flight with them. But I'm kind of glad I did, because, like I said, apart from that one little thing on the way back, everything was great. I can't really sort of say much more than I personally quite enjoyed the flight, and my experience with Scoot was great. So I'd have to give them a fairly high positive rating there. And hopefully you guys that obviously come across this video do give them a chance, and yeah, and hopefully have a good flight and a good experience with them. But that's where we're going to leave it off, guys. But yeah, just let us know your thoughts if you've actually had a chance to fly with Scoot, and just drop us a comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see and would like to see more, please don't hesitate to check out all our other videos. We've got plenty of videos out there, and this is going to be our 90th video today. And yeah, hopefully we can push slowly towards the 400 subscriber mark, which is what we're aiming for. Hopefully in sometime in June, maybe the end of June. I think I've pushed it back a little bit because the subscriber count's kind of stagnated a little bit. But hopefully we can push that forward to 400. And then hopefully at some point, maybe early next year maybe we can get to the big 1,000 mark, and we can start obviously monetizing the channel, which would be awesome. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to drop us a like on the video, smash the subscribe button, tap the bell icon so you don't miss a video. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.